It is now time for the Jeff Fox Radio Show.
Jeff Fox Radio Show.
Turn it up and get ready to talk sports and entertainment with your favorite sports brother. Follow the Jeff Fox Show on Instagram. That's
at the Jeff Fox Show.
Follow him on Twitter at Sports Bros Radio. And follow the Jeff Fox Show on Facebook at the Jeff Fox Show. Remember to subscribe on YouTube to Jeff Fox. You can always choose to support Jeff on Cash App. $ Radio Host 1.
And sit back, relax, and enjoy the Jeff Fox Show.
Powered by Brand Star Sports and Entertainment.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Jeff Fox Show. Man, this is, I wasn't even planning on doing a live show today. Matter of fact, I probably got some things way up. I did not plan on doing a show today. So this is very impromptu, so to speak. All right. And they even have my sound effects and all that in order. But I got to go. And I had to call my man up, E.W. Freeman, because some breaking news has just occurred. And it seems like Ed Reed, what we thought was the head coach at Bethune Cookman University, may no longer be there. And I did not go to an HBCU. I have issues with a lot of things that we do as Black people, and I felt compelled to just jump on for a minute and talk about this. So, if you haven't seen the press conference with Ed Reed, here it is.
Good morning. Good morning. Temporary. You never know the day nor the hour. None of us know when that time will come. You understand? We've been around here trying to change things, and we have. And this has changed quickly. My vision for change is probably moving too fast for a lot of people. I'm not withdrawing my name, as they saying. They don't want me here. They do not want me here because I tell the truth. They have never had this many people here in the recruiting time, and Coach, I've been saying that. We've been here at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I even slept here one night to make sure I was comfortable, and I was. My guy.
What's up, my guy?
This hurt. This hurt because I know people don't care about these kids like I do. And they should be the ones leaving, not me. Because I don't want to. Why? Because Jeremy Greaves, who father I looked in the eye, and y'all mothers and fathers who I talked to last night, even though I knew they didn't want me. I took $2,400 out of my pocket and still gave it to the host, to host these young men. Shit, at this point, I'd do it for free. Because I have been for the last 3 weeks. That man have too. He drove from New Orleans. Because he believed in me and my vision. And that man right there who flew from California less than 2 hours and got off the plane, and he was here to see the rant. He got off the plane, and what we started doing, young man? Motherfuckers! Here I curse, and y'all done heard curse words before. And they got parents in here. And no, I don't want to leave. And like I told you, I want all these recruits. But they got some corrupt people in this world, some evil people that don't care about kids like I do. So I want y'all to hear the truth from me. I ain't withdrawing my name. I got the receipts. They got all kinds of stuff going on around here. Hoarding these buildings with nothing but trash in them. You understand me? And Dion was right. And I know I'm right. And they got some people in here who be snitching to their ass. And I work amongst Judas as Jesus walked with him. And I ain't have a problem with it. Because even Jesus prevailed.
Sir.
And what God got for you, no man can take.
Sir.
I told these young men, I don't care who we play, because I don't. My nephew was transferred here. My nephew right there. They want me to leave my nephew here. Am I lying, Neff? No, sir. He been getting a bad break at Southern. Some evil people, man, that don't care about your kids. But I was here because I wanted them all, like I told y'all last night, and I still do. And if somebody gave me a job, they all could come. Probably won't happen. But I'll tell y'all this. My brother died 11 years ago around this time, and we buried him. And I was in the NFL in the cold tub icing when I found out. And I didn't go home. I played the game on Sunday because that's what he would want me to do. Just like I want y'all to keep going, regardless of what happens today. Young men, that's what I've been telling y'all. Right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Pick up trash tomorrow because that's what we would do, right?
Yes, sir.
We was going to do it anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Jaden, where you at? What you said, Jaden, last Sunday?
Whatever we.
I'm not withdrawing my name as Reggie Thea's ass want me to do. He the one, and whoever else with him. You can't be an AD and a head coach. It's impossible. I worked at the University of Miami for 3 years and I saw it.
Talk to me.
And I know.
Yeah, we in there live right
You
now.
understand? Hang up the phone, Ro.
We in there live right now.
Ro!
Yeah, it's prime.
He okay, though.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's bigger than football.
Protection.
Teaching these young men about life. They ain't seen the play yet.
In football, bigger than football. Ed Reed. That's a whole lot of man right there. That's a real man right there, Ed Reed. Oh boy. And he's genuinely hurt, man. He's Reggie Theus and the faculty over there at Bethune Cookman. I did not go to an HBCU, so I don't know how they are run, but I can tell you, I know corruption when I see it. And something about this situation at Bethune absolutely stinks. And Ed Reed is a man. I met Ed Reed when I worked with 790 The Ticket. We played a charity softball game in Sean Taylor's honor. And I was in the outfield, and Ed played for the other team in the outfield, and we shared a glove. That was the first time I met him. And I knew right then that Ed Reed was what you call a real nigga. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Real, 100% real. And I was impressed with him from that day. And I knew that that dude put his heart into everything he does. I met him another time at the Hard Rock Stadium on the field during a Hurricanes football game. He don't play. And he cannot be compromised. He's a man of integrity. He's as real as they come. And I just think Bethune totally fucked up with this move. Reggie Theus, I don't know too much about HBCUs. I know a pussy ass nigga when I see him. And that's what Reggie Theus is. For pulling this shit on our young kids. Fucking pisses me off. Coach Prime got in on the press conference with Ed Reed. Because he knows the truth. He knows Ed Reed better than me. Let him tell it.
Teaching these young men about life. They ain't seen the play yet. We don't even have a practice field. Less than a week we've cleared this land y'all see over here. Less than a week. Because a man came from Baltimore who saw me come into his neighborhood when I was a rookie, talked to his neighborhood, his mom strung out on drugs, his daddy not in his life, and I talked to them and he said, I'm here for you. What do you need? I don't want to hear about all the bull. And I talked to him and I took him over there and he met him. He walked out there, my new best friend. He said, man, you don't even know me. His whole demeanor changed when he got back to me. He said, hey, you were right. I said, yeah, we cut that little piece of grass and them snakes showed. And I ain't talking about the rattlers. Bigger than football, mom and dad. We still have kids showing up today for the recruit weekend. We got kids showing up tomorrow. They told me to cancel it and y'all was getting off the plane. Where they do that at? I'm not withdrawing my name. Sis, read the quote. Read the email, sis. Read the email, sis.
Bethune Cookman University has announced that Ed Reed has withdrawn his name from consideration to become the next head football coach at the university. That was just one of the drafts, not the...
It's not happening. I ain't withdraw my name. Y'all saw me last night. Did I sound like I was leaving? Did I sound like this was a problem, like I was getting fired or something? Like y'all got me in here lying to these people, man. And I wasn't lying. I was just telling y'all what was real. I got a 14-year-old son who I had to call this morning. He in Atlanta. He had a game, a banquet. I just missed it. I'm sacrificing my own money for these young men. Just last night to have a good time. And I'm still looking after them. Dante, where you at? Dante Drew, where you at? You lost your wallet, huh? Guess who got it? Your coach. I found it. Ain't that something? Get a young man his wallet and his money and everything in it. Glad you're using protection, too.
Read.
I just sat, stood, grew up in the eye of the hurricane for a long time. If you know anything about a hurricane, right in the eye is calm. Even in this moment, I'm good. But I hurt for these young men. That's what I hurt for. That's what the tears are for. Because I know what we've been working on. so much more than football. I ain't camped for 20 years. I've been doing this, working with kids. CT done it together, and his kid is being recruited now. I had to tell y'all all together, they don't want me here. It's not me. And that's just the truth. It's not me. I would not do that. How would I withdraw my name when I sat with Jordan Johnson? Jeremy Greaves' dad and parents looked him in the eye just as I did with y'all last night. Why would I do that? Y'all heard the lie. They lying. They ain't right. They not right. Say me, it ain't right. I spoke the truth. Just because you hear some curse words? Just because you hear curse words? When the Ku Klux Klan came in 1904 and stood right outside, and Dr. McClain stood just like this by herself. Come with it. And you weren't about curse words? When they got people who are out here trying to kill these young men? No, it ain't me. I knew I wasn't wrong. I ain't care what nobody said. Still don't. I had the best of friends calling me, bro, you can't do that. Man, get off my phone. You with them. You playing the game. I don't play no game. I ain't got no time to play no games, politics. I never did. They didn't do their research. They thought they was getting, lack of better words, a dumb jock. I'm not. That's who y'all had raising y'all kid here. But good, man. Not perfect. We all make mistakes. And I apologize for mine. And I told them that they have to be professional. It's a teaching moment, as we use it as, right, Jaden? Sure. I had individual meetings with these young men, and we started by playing chess. Not checkers. But I said, all of y'all got one move. Y'all gotta learn to work together. It's chess, young man. They not even playing checkers. They don't care. They don't care. What's up, big bro?
Hey, I love you, man. You know that, right?
Yep.
We talked about this. We talked about this. We know the structure. We know the order. We know how it was going to play out. And you've been there fighting. I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. You got to understand, Ed, God has a time and a place for you, my brother. And I know your heart. I know everything that's going on inside of you. You know, I know you like a book. And I know how you feel about them kids, and I know you do not want to leave those kids. So I'm praying for you right now, man, because this is going to be the toughest thing you ever had to do in your life. Sometimes, Ed, you got to walk away, my brother. I know it's tough. I know you don't want to hear it. But sometimes in life, we got to walk away.
You already know, big bro. I
You
appreciate
didn't let nobody down, Ed. You didn't let them kids down. You did what you was called to do, and you tried your best.
Thank you, big brother.
I love you, man. I'm here. I will be on the next flight if you need me. You know that.
Nah, you good. You handle your business. You know that. I'll give you a call.
Please. Hey, you know what God wants from you, man, and be that. Don't let them provoke you, my brother. I love you, man.
Bro.
All right.
Coach Prime, everybody.
I really do appreciate y'all time, taking the time to come, hearing me out.
Wow. Back here on the show, I am joined by my sports brother, Ed Freeman. Ed Freeman.
Nah, just Ed.
Yeah, Ed, the world famous. The Sports Brothers, a reunion of sorts. Yeah. Hey, man, I did not go to an HBCU, like I said, but I'm very interested in seeing our youth, our young black men progress. And I don't know the entirety of this story. I just know that it deeply disturbs me. And I was extremely upset. I stopped watching the University of Miami and Duke basketball game because of this. And I've been using language that I don't normally use. It tugs at my heart, and I'm very disappointed. And I know there's two sides to every story, and I don't want to hear the other side because I know it's bullshit. You know, I know it's bullshit, and this is what goes on. In my belief, it is my belief. I have no facts here. I have no proof, but I think this is what goes on at these HBCUs and a lot of organizations that we lead. This is a come to Jesus moment for us. Just my opinion, from the outside looking in. I called you because you went to an HBCU. You know the experience. You know what goes on in these types of situations. Tell me what you think about this.
Well, where do we begin? So just for some backstory, you know, I was at a community service event this morning, and I heard some of my frat brothers saying that, yeah, you know, he left, he resigned or something. I said, what's going on? Ed Reed. I was like, what? And that was that first reaction was somewhat it went away real quickly because of the events that happened in the last week. I wasn't really surprised.
Right.
I wasn't totally surprised that this would be the next move, just based on what happened in the past week. And people, everybody, obviously fans of your show, sports fans should know that he went on a rant because it was the practice field. The practice field wasn't ready, and they said there's trash.
It was just. I mean, we can be frank here. Shit was fucked up, everywhere.
Right. But and you know me, I ain't changed much. But I'm going off of what we saw on video, without type of we don't know what was going on. For all I know, Ed could have been at the wrong goddamn field, but I know he wasn't.
Right.
So that happened, and then I saw the reaction. I heard the news, and my reaction quickly. What's happening? And then I was like, well, yeah, it didn't look good from the moment that video dropped and the apology and all of that. So here's what I want to say, Jeff. I mean, you say obviously I went to FAMU. There are a lot of people out there that applaud this move by the university, and there are a lot of people out there that are mad about it. We're split. We're the HBCU, and each HBCU, I guarantee, are split. Some people are happy Dion left and for greener pastures, and some people are sad within Jackson State and within the HBCU community at large. But I will say this, that it should not, what Ed went through at BCU, I'm going to say this first, and I'm a Rattler. This is BCU we're talking about, and folks who know BCU, FAMU, the rivalry has lived on and on and on. I would say that...
I mean, this is your chance, though, to stick it to him, man.
Yes. My chance. It's messed up. It's unfortunate. Yeah. The thing about it is, and just based on something that you said, you don't know what happened. you heard one. There's two sides, but you don't want to hear the other side.
I don't even want to hear it, bro.
Right. But I don't want you and others like you to think like or as this goes on at every HBCU. Like we went on a couple months ago, whatever, when Dion left, and I spoke about it. Yes, we can all know, and it's public knowledge, HBCU schools are at a different level financially. I'm not gonna say academically, but financially, just leave it there, than your big Power 5 schools. We just know this. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to be you don't need to have LASIK and 4 eyes and all that stuff to see that. They just are. So having said that, there are a lot of, when you're already set back financially at these HBCUs, you're also when you add to that mismanagement and corruption and just poor skills, customer service wise and other, that adds on to the already, I guess you could say, plight that you're in financially. So I just want to get that out there, that what's happening to Ed Reed and what happened at BCU is it's not all doom and gloom at every HBCU, but it does shed some light. It does open up for the conversation that we have to do better. And when I say we, I speak for HBCUs. We have to do better as HBCUs when it comes down to management, when it comes down to PR, when it comes down to handling our business, when it comes down to generating revenue for our schools and for those sports. And I think Dion showed you or left the blueprint on how to do it. Every coach that comes to an HBCU is not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's not going to have Michael Strahan and United Air or American Airlines and Under Armour on the speed dial to say, hey, come help us out. They're just not. But for me, it's on the administration, it's on the presidents, it's on the athletic directors, it's on all of those people, all the boosters, all the wannabe players and big timers at these universities to find a way to make it happen. And that's my overall concern or thought for HBCU going forward. Administration, at AD staff, find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, it looks like we lost Ed there we go. We lost you for a second, but you're back.
I don't care if it's Deion Sanders or Colonel Sanders as the coach. Find a way to make it happen. And that's all you. So to get to, and that's my soapbox rant on the whole. But to get to this, we found out a couple of things. That, namely, one is that if he's
right, you seem to have a connection issue.
You're right.
Yeah, Ed, listen, we're having a connection issue. We're freezing a little bit.
I was getting a phone call. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, but Ed's in the middle of his commentary. He should be back with us momentarily here. But again, if you haven't heard, Ed Reed out as head coach at Bethune Cookman. E.W. Freeman offering Ed the World Famous rather offering his commentary. No longer Freeman.
With this situation, we found out the number one thing we found out, and if Ed Reed is not telling a lie, is that they're saying he was withdrawing his name.
Ed, they sent an email. They sent an email from the administration saying that Ed Reed had withdrawn his name. And if you heard, I just played the press conference.
Yeah.
And he was speaking from his heart. He was in tears.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of the battle, the thankless job that a lot of these head coaches have. Our good friend Uncle Luke asked about you yesterday, by the way. So, okay. You should give him a call. Luke. He asked me what happened to you. I told him you were fighting the good fight at a high school, like he is, because as you know, Uncle Luke coaches the Miami Edison Red Raiders.
Yep.
And he's very passionate about his coaching job. And you won't believe the peanuts that they get paid, but he showed me. We talked about.
He put it on social media. I saw it.
Yeah, he put a check on that. You have got to be kidding me. And then you compared it to Texas and all these other places where they make six figures.
Yeah.
And he went live and he talked about his love for these kids. And that's what I heard today from Ed Reed. I heard the love for these kids. It's not the money. Ed Reed doesn't need the money.
Nah.
He loves these kids. He loves this job. He's trying to be there for them. And I think you had a bunch of corrupt MFers running the administration over there.
Yeah.
Because I seriously doubt Ed Reed is making this up.
He's not. But Jeff, follow me on this real quick. This was kind of doomed from the start, if you ask me, because like Jeff, you're a diehard UM. I'm a diehard UM fan. We followed Ed when he was in school. We followed Dion when he was in school. We were, at, watching it on TV. I remember wide rights, going off to college and seeing it in Tallahassee and coming back home and supporting that team, whether it was, as host on WQAM or 790, or just, we were just fans. And that was why we were on the radio, because we were bringing the fans down.
Yeah.
But this was kind of doomed from the start, and I know it's a little bit of Saturday morning, afternoon quarterback, but this was kind of doomed from the start, man, because I don't necessarily know that the folks at Bethune Cookman knew who or what they were getting. Like, they didn't know they were going to get that right.
Well,
and what they got this morning. Be honest, that is Ed freaking Reed, Hurricane.
That's who he's always been. But remember, I put my heart in this shit, man.
But that doesn't mean that they knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the kids today, Ed Reed, yeah, I think I heard about him. He played for the Ravens. Yeah, okay. Was he Hall of Fame? Yeah. But they don't know the the dog, Ed Reed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think to a certain extent, Ed couldn't, and that's who he is, but he couldn't turn that off as a coach. And that's fine.
And he doesn't have to, because there's a lot of other shows live right now. And I heard a comment by a young lady on another podcast saying that, the language, like, you can't talk to those kids. I'm like, where the fuck does she think this is? Elementary school?
It ain't even the language for me. I can care less about the language. That they talk worse than that on the parks, right? Or just,
right. And then those are toddlers.
Yeah. It's up to you. If you want to put your kid in that, cool. I mean, that's on you. Whatever you want him to play football, that's what he's going to be exposed to. We heard no matter who it is, it's Kirby Smart, right? Did you hear that audio from the pregame speech? Or the pregame speech before they played the
national championship.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. The language, I don't think the folks at Bethune really knew who and when I say the folks, everybody outside of the athletics, they didn't know what.
Ed, this is going to have an adverse effect on all the momentum that Dion built trying to attract high schoolers to HBCUs. Do you think this is going to have a negative effect?
You know what?
When Ed Reed says they don't care about our kids.
Well, it could. I mean, first, the sensible person needs to know that when he's saying they, he's talking about school. He's not talking about HBCUs. That's why I started what I said. What I said at the beginning. This cannot put a bad light on all HBCUs when you should already know out the gate. Hey, we do have a lot less funding than those Power Fives. We are not as financially powerful as those Power Fives. Not. It's just not set up to be like that. However, again, that's why I said this cannot paint a light on all HBCUs as if they all operate this way. Let's take a look. Right. I mean, you said, FAMU is going to be having fun with this today. They may, but FAMU, there's some good programs out there. North Carolina Central, who just, beat Jackson State in the bowl game. Jackson State, they're still good. There are good programs out there. So they shouldn't, a smart kid that was looking at an HBCU should not take this one instance and say, oh man, yeah, Do I need to reconsider that offer from Georgia Southern or from Middleton, a small division school that's PWI? You don't have to, but just don't take it as a blanket statement that all HBCUs operate this way. This just happened to be one instance where it was really blown portion.
Right. Rodney Dammit Man says they lied. They lied.
And they wouldn't be to lie. Let's put that out.
Yeah. Big Phil says that's crazy. First Lady says, speak on it. Yeah, I get it, man.
But I watched this whole speech. You're right. There are some people out there, and I think I'm not going to speak for all the coaches, but you would think a coach who's trained young men to be men, who's leading them up, is going to come to that position or be in that position and come with a lot of passion. And we know those teams of the 80s and 90s, the U teams were passionate. Florida State, they were passionate. UF, they were all passionate. These guys are a different breed, and they're not going to be the politically correct, do everything right in the public type of a person. That's what I'm saying. They may not have hiring.
I mean, I think, Ed, I believe that Ed Reed was about to do great things for this university. And just like when Coach Prime went to Jackson State, you had the same type of buzz going on because you have an NFL Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl champion, a national champion, a guy that truly cares about these kids, that really cares about these kids, and you just can see it and you can hear it. So I'm thinking about what could have been for Bethune Cookman.
So a little history. I mean, Bethune is coming off of some hard times. You guys on Facebook, you need to follow my man Vaughn Wilson from HBCU Game Day. He does a great job of covering HBCU sports in general. HBCU, obviously football. He is part of that website as well. And he had an article where he detailed and talked about the troubles that they've had in the last couple of years. Just before COVID, and of course during COVID, they were struggling. They had been struggling financially. Resources with the team. The university has had some issues in the last few years. They were talking about closing doors. Seriously.
Wow.
So all of that, in the last 5 to 7 years going on, and then the hiring of Ed Reed. Yeah, I think it was a sign of, man, okay, we're hopefully taking a step in the right direction. Of course, they lost the last 2 years in the Florida Classic, the main game, the big game of the year versus FAMU. But they did make the move to the SWAC. They made a move to a bigger and I guess better conference. So the program and the school has been going up and down. Having said that, yes, maybe Ed, this could have been the catalyst to turn the program around, to do great things there. I got to be honest. Maybe unlike you, I mean, I love Ed, and I love obviously the Hurricanes as well. But I don't know what he could have done as a coach. I just don't. Other than bring that passion, but I don't know of his coaching acumen. I mean, is that wrong to say? I'm not saying they would have been sorry, but I just don't know. And I would have taken a year or two to see. Okay, Ed, I see what you're doing. Or man, was this the right choice? So I don't know, because I don't follow it like that.
Right.
But
I don't think it's wrong for you. I don't think it's wrong for you to say that. But me knowing how Ed Reed has been successful in college and the pros, what he added to the University of Miami, we weren't there, but certainly I believe in him. And I'm a bit biased. I know I'm biased.
Yeah.
But I've got that kind of love for Ed Reed and passion. I've just seen him, like I said earlier, and I probably shouldn't use the N word, but I did use it earlier in the show. Just said he was kind of, to me, he's like what we would call, and black folks understand me, he's what I would call a real nigga, 100%. And we know what that means.
Yeah.
You know, and so I believe in him wholeheartedly. I think he would have done it. I think he would have done some great things. And I don't know what the hell Reggie Theus, and that, okay, maybe they have a problem with his delivery, but it seems like he embarrassed them.
Oh,
And they're saying
100%.
that he could have said when he came out publicly and said behind closed doors, but he's not that kind of guy.
Well, 100%. And I'm gonna be moving here now because this is real live on the go show. 100%. They didn't like what he did. That's another thing I should add to tell you. HBCU graduates and personnel can be very sensitive about their schools. They sensitive, bro.
But they ain't got no damn money.
You can't talk bad. They don't care if they ain't got no building. You can't talk bad about them in public.
Right.
In public. In circles, amongst your friends, your family, you can talk all the shit you want. But once you get, it's kind of like your family or our family. You in the house, you talking with your kids, y'all talking smack, you talking with your brother. But a minute your neighbor comes across and says, "Hey man, your brother haircut look funny. Hey man, don't be talking about my brother. That's my brother."
Right.
It's the same thing with HBCUs. You can't do that.
Don't tell the neighbors we're having issues with the light bill.
Yes.
Mama had to take out a loan. You get slapped for that.
You can't do that. And Bethune has been around a while, man. I mean, any HBCU, they would have, the reaction, I'm not saying anybody would have, gotten fired or asked to withdraw their name, but the reaction is not uncommon. I'm not surprised at the reaction that the alumni and this move, like I said, I kind of saw it coming or felt something like that was coming.
And this was after he came out and said what he said publicly.
Yes.
Then you felt like some kind of hammer was coming down.
Yes.
I think they went too far, Ed. I think they went too far. Very disappointed. Because again, how important are these kids to them? How important? Like you're about to get started. He got kids en route to visit, up there, and you heard him at the press conference like this.
Yeah,
hurts.
and we can sit here and we can as we dissect it, they made moves that maybe an experienced.
All right, seems like we lost Ed. He'll be back here, but oh man, Ed Reed, man, the situation over there at Bethune Cookman, where do they go from here? And I just think it was totally brain fart on their part. I think Reggie Theus is a dumbass, and this was just a stupid move. Stupid move. Yeah, a little attempt at humor there, but I'm really pissed off, man. I'm pissed off about it, and I'm sure there will be columns written that'll get into it more in detail about what happened with this situation. Ed Reed being out at Bethune Cookman University, and I appreciate Ed Freeman. I mean, Ed Sylvain, Ed the world famous. My former radio co-host, for coming on and sharing what it's like behind the scenes at an HBCU. I did want to ask him one more thing because, he was a member of the band at FAMU, where the world's most famous band resides. And I met some really, really great people on our show who were former, went to FAMU as well. And interesting perspective from E.W. Freeman. Let's hear more from the Ed Reed press conference.
Teaching these young men about life. They ain't seen the play yet. We don't even have a practice field. Less than a week we've cleared this land y'all see over here. Less than a week. Because a man came from Baltimore who saw me come into his neighborhood when I was a rookie, talked to his neighborhood, his mom strung out on drugs, his daddy not in his life, and I talked to them and he said, I'm here for you. What do you need? I don't want to hear about all the bull. And I talked to him and I took him over there and he met him. He walked out there, my new best friend. He said, man, you don't even know me. His whole demeanor changed when he got back to me. He said, hey, you were right. I said, yeah, we cut that little piece of grass and them snakes showed. And I ain't talking about the Rattlers. Bigger than football, mom and dad. We still have kids showing up today for the recruit weekend. We got kids showing up tomorrow. They told me to cancel it and y'all was getting off the plane. Where they do that at? I'm not withdrawing my name. Sis, read the quote. Read the email, sis. Read the email, sis.
Bethune Cookman University has announced that Ed Reed has withdrawn his name from consideration to become the next head football coach at the university. That was just one of the drafts, not the...
It's not happening. I ain't withdraw my name. Y'all saw me last night. Did I sound like I was leaving? Did I sound like this was a problem, like y'all, like I was getting fired or something? Like y'all got me in here lying to these people, man. And I wasn't lying. I was just telling y'all what was real. I got a 14-year-old son who I had to call this morning. He in Atlanta. He had a game, a banquet. I just missed it. I'm sacrificing my own money for these young men. Just last night to have a good time. And I'm still looking after them. Dante, where you at? Dante Drew, where you at? You lost your wallet, huh? Guess who got it? Your coach. I found it. Ain't that something? Get a young man his wallet and his money and everything in it. Glad you're using protection, too.
Read.
I just sat, stood, grew up in the eye of the hurricane for a long time. If you know anything about a hurricane, right in the eye is calm. Even in this moment, I'm good. But I hurt for these young men. That's what I hurt for. That's what the tears are for. Because I know what we've been working on.
Yep. Ed Reed, man. Speaking from the heart, bro. I know that man. I mean, I don't know him like how I know you, you know, like we're not buddies and all of that. But Ed Reed can take my kid and teach him if he wants to. You know, if Ed Reed was running any type of an organization, I'd want to be a part of it. That's the type of guy I think he is. That's what appears to me on the surface. And when you know that you have somebody like that, you know, somebody that with that type of character that's used to a higher standard and he wants to make you better. Like I've had people tell me some real foul stuff, Ed, about myself that wanted to make me better. You know? I remember you and I being on the radio when we had the Sports Brothers, and I'd be like, yo, Ed, man, they want us to come out to this party or whatever, to this club. They willing to pay us $300, man. You'd be like, nah, we can't do it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? We have a brand, Jeff. I didn't understand that we had a brand. And there's a certain standard that we must hold ourselves to. You had to teach me that. Remember? About, you know, you have a brand. That means something. He's trying to uplift that university, and they shoot him down for that. It's problematic, bro. Problematic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The audio's a little watery, but I'm gonna say this because this is what I wanted to say before the move and the transition here. On one hand, it's horrible. And do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
On one hand, it's horrible that this isn't July, this isn't August, this isn't right before the start of the football season, but it's the most critical, one of the most critical times of the year, and that's recruiting time. Yeah. And he mentioned that there were some kids, like I said, a recruitment weekend. He talked about everything. He talked about his nephew who transferred. He talked about guys who just got off the plane, et cetera, et cetera. And on one hand, that is a horrible look, and you can't blame, obviously, anybody for that but the university. On the other hand, they just said, you know what, we need to cut ties and cut ties ASAP. We're not going to wait till a contract is drawn, which is actually smart because you didn't got to pay them. We're not going to wait till, the middle of the summer or anything like that. We're going to cut ties and cut ties ASAP.
But for what? For that?
And that's why I was going to throw in a little caveat. It's like, but was that worth potentially losing your recruiting class and everything that you built up until yesterday, whenever the email was sent out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hey, when the video came out, Jeff, I said you may not have liked the way the message was delivered, but he is obviously a frustrated individual. We don't know if he tried to contact somebody for days leading up to that. We don't know, was his calls getting ignored? Was his emails getting ignored? Was just nobody just straight up listening to it? We don't know none of that. For all we know, he went out to the practice field, saw what he saw, and decided to go live. I'm going to admit and say that wasn't probably the best move. And I know you're going to come back and say, but they were hiring a real N-word. But you're still, you still got to have some professionalism about you in that position. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree because I'm not being really professional right now, but I'm upset. I'm upset for Ed Reed. I'm upset for those kids. Again, I know another coach. I mentioned Coach Campbell earlier. I know his passion. I know how much they love seeing those kids make it to the next level, not only in football, but in life. They actually love when these kids go on to be whatever, doctors, lawyers, firemen, teachers. They love that. They just want to see them better themselves. And I'm not against that at all. Anybody that wants to see our kids do better, our young men do better, I'm not against that, And today, is a sad day, in my opinion. Big Phil says they should have talked to him. Yeah, they should have. But I'm sure they did, but they still feel the way that they felt. And again, clearly Ed is in transition driving around on a busy South Florida weekend. I appreciate him coming on. You can follow him at Ed the World Famous. Follow him at Ed the World Famous. So clearly, he's not connected, having problems with the transportation and internet connection. But if you missed it, man, Ed Reed out at Bethune Cookman University. Crazy, crazy, crazy story. And, I don't have much else to add. And thank you for rejoining us here. I'm going to wrap up in a few. And I'm going to play the press conference in its entirety before we log off here for those that missed it. But I had some very harsh words for Reggie Theus and the administration over there at Bethune, and I hope they don't win shit. And, you know, and I hope all the recruits that they were going to get leave. You know, and I hope Ed gets a job. By the way, Deion Sanders reached out during the press conference, as you saw, and yeah. I love the encouragement he offered. I love the support he showed, because I'm sure that Coach Prime faced some of the same type of adversity at Jackson State, and I'm glad that you had clarified that this isn't all HBCUs. But I imagine that there are other HBCUs that are dealing with the same type of bullshit, and I'm glad that's getting exposed at least.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't even just keep it at HBCUs. I mean, there are other colleges, probably more than likely not PWIs, Power 5, that are experiencing some issues. And number one, it's kept in house. And number two, it's handled. And however they handle it, they found a way to handle it. They did that. Whether it's they got the resources to do that, I don't know. Whatever they did, they handled it. But it definitely, again, it's not just an HBCU problem. It's a to sum it all up, I would just say, again, it's management of these HBCUs, management of programs at these HBCUs has to be stepped up, right. And that starts from the top, administration, president, vice president, AD. A coach can only come in there and do his part, lead those young men. But if he don't have no tools, if he don't have no resources, then what's the use? And that was one of the things.
Before we get out of here, Ed, you were in the band at FAMU, the world famous Marching 100. You were a part of that. What was your experience like being a member of the Marching 100? Did you go through coach yelling at you, calling you a piece of shit, calling you sorry, MF or whatever? Did you deal with some of that? And I mean, maybe I don't want you to put your university out there now. Like, you just explained to me how some things are kept in house. But were you rough language or being roughed up or hazing, whatever it is? Was any of that ever?
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you, and anybody who was in the band during my era, or any kid that is in an organization that is top notch, or has some type of notoriety in it, or if you suck, let's keep it real. But no, the staff, mainly who we dealt with, obviously, was the marching band staff. No, they didn't talk to us like that. They didn't talk to us like that, because band and football are two different things.
Yeah, but
and I get it. At some schools, the band is more popular than At some schools, the band is more competitive and more known than the football team, FAMU, and some other schools. But you got it more from your teammates or our band members than the administration. The band staff wouldn't have to talk to you like that, right? Because before they even open their mouth to say something like that, you're gonna get it from your peers, and you could have got it any kind of way. Of course, I mean, I don't know if you're trying to get to the language thing or whatever, but you're gonna have some people who curse and some people who don't. And that's just the way it is. But
if it got back to the administration, would they have had a problem with it?
No. Why would they have a problem with it? No. What administration of the university?
Yeah.
That somebody's cursing at me?
I mean, you went out there. You guys excelled. You're the best marching band in the world, from what we know. So, I mean, sometimes, you know, Coach Bobby Knight used a little harsh language, but he did win a couple of national championships. You know,
I can't believe that people are hung up on that, man. Like, really? Like, let's not let that take over the news and the airwaves and the social media when we just heard and make it seem like it's all, you know, oh, how did this guy do this? When we just heard Kirby Smart and you know, rip his team some new ones, and they ended up winning a national championship. Like, let's not do that. Let's not say what's good for this guy isn't good for this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope that's not the conversation that's going on out there. I mean, that's the world of football. You don't want your kid cursed at. I don't know. Put them in culinary, you know, or put them in Mohammed. I don't know, and you have a choice as a parent as to not want your kid around that environment or want your kid or don't care.
Right.
But that's football, man. That's the way it is. Have you watched the and I'm being honest with you, because I cringed at this a little bit too. Have you watched the Amazon reality show, Coach Prime?
Yeah, but I haven't really. I saw a clip. I saw a clip when he dismissed the kid from his football team. But I haven't really watched the whole thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's cursing all up and down that too, and it's from the students actually, not even him. I don't think he curses, to be honest. Does he? I haven't heard it. I can't recall. But it's all from the students. So when you hear the students saying it to each other, you know, it's one thing, and that's, you know, to wrap up your question. That's how we were in the band, man. Get your shit together, dog. What you doing? Hey, what the hell? Come on, or whatever it is that you had to say. We did that. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Anybody here who's in the band be like, oh no, don't say that. I mean, come on, really? We're gonna trip off cursing now?
I don't know what's next for Bethune Cookman. Maybe George Santos. I mean, he's done some of everything.
Man, look here.
Maybe he could be the guy for the job. But hey, man, thanks for jumping on spot on. The minute I called you, I heard you laugh on the other line. You knew what I was calling you about.
I was watching it as you were calling me, man. I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. So yeah, no, it was a pleasure, man. You know, anytime, man, anytime.
Hey, man, appreciate you, big dog.
All right, man.
That's a wrong sound effect. It's Ed Freeman, man. Man. That's gonna wrap it up, man. This was just a breaking news segment talking about Ed Reed being out at Bethune. I've got some football to watch this afternoon. For those of you, don't forget, man, look at the party tonight. Make sure you check out the round table. Remember, coming soon, I don't know the exact date, but the Miami Man Cave. And if you missed our clip, here it is. Yeah. Also, we got thank you, by the way, the Miami Man Cave coming soon. Also, we will have tickets to Jazz in the Gardens once again this year. Jazz in the Gardens. I'm going strictly because Jodeci will be here. So I want you guys to keep looking for the Jeff Fox Show. And, of course, also the Miami Man Cave. We will hear more from this story as the weekend progresses. NFL football this afternoon. Here's my prediction. Kansas City will knock out the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the end of the magical season for the Jags. And my homie Big Leon Cersei. That'll come to an end, and I expect the New York Giants to shock the world and beat the Philadelphia Eagles tonight by 1 point. By 1 point. So we'll see. All right. See you guys later tonight at the round table. I may or may not be there. Your boy feeling kind of lazy, so go back to my personal man cave here at the Jeff Fox Studios. All right, so once again, we will talk to you later. Ed Reed out at Bethune Cookman. I think they fucked that up. Anyway, I'm out.
You've been listening to The Jeff Fox Show. Jeff Fox Show. Join us next time on the same platform for another exciting episode of The Jeff Fox Show. Remember, there's no Jeff Fox Show without your support. Continue to support The Jeff Fox Show via Cash App at #RadioHost1. This has been a production of The Jeff Fox Show Incorporated.